Topo Athletic is committed to lifelong health and better movement. Topo builds running shoes for those who get out there every day, regardless of weather, speed, energy, or mood. Their distinctive fit and feel combines instinctive human movement with modern performance and lightweight comfort to help you keep going, keep trying, and keep moving. Discover the Topo difference and step into a run experience unlike any other.
Oh, she did consecutively.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh man, this is a bloody nightmare.
Did you catch that? We were like, I have to hit accept for the number of times you've done a half marathon or a marathon.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I'm gonna be pressing that button 104 times.
Yeah, you have to do it 104. That would be good.
Great to see you again.
Good to see you too. It feels like it's been a very long time.
Wait, but I do know, as a matter of fact, in about 61 days I'll see you.
Yeah.
Since that's how between now and across the years.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, it is. Woohoo!
You got me into it.
I apologize. I tend to get people doing stupid things. Sorry. It's all good, right? You love it. You love it.
I love it. And I'll never forget the New Year's. So the New walk. So there's a New Year's lap at like midnight. I'll never forget us walking in one direction with fireworks going off and Jacky just like stumbling out of her car in the opposite direction, finishing her. What is going on?
I had like totally missed New Year's. I was like, yeah, I was having a nap. I was like, oh my goodness, I had actually missed it.
Guys do it because I'll just be racing in the last person standing. So I will not
just
for 6 days or anything of that nature.
Yeah, but those are brutal though.
Yeah. I've done 2 of them. I did one in like 117 degree heat and humidity in Texas.
Oh wow!
And I did one in at elevation in Ouray, Colorado. And
wow.
Yeah, the Colorado one was much harder because at elevation the dehydration kicks in so fast.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah, that's tough running at that at the altitude.
I have this great introduction for you, so I'm going to do it anyway, despite our technical difficulties.
Okay.
It's awesome. So thank you everybody for joining us. Episode 80 of our Fireside Chat with Jacky, who is also on episode 35, which is a fantastic accomplishment. But besides that wonderful accomplishment, Jacky has a number of other accomplishments. She's run 104 marathons in 104 days. She's recently completed 100K at Javelina just last weekend. She has set the world record as the first amputee to run 100 miles on a treadmill in under 24 hours. She's the first amputee to take on the Brutal Trans Rockies race, which is a stage race covering 120 miles over 3 days and 20,000 feet of elevation gain. And so we're going to see her again, like I said, in about 2 months exactly at Across the Years, where you're going to be trying to run for how many hours, days straight?
6 days.
6 days. Awesome.
Yeah. I say that with a little bit like, 6 days.
You were right. What amazing. I think that describes all of Jacky's accomplishments.
Thank you.
When you hear those things, we have a list of questions, but like when you hear that coming from somebody else talking about it and like other people are commenting about it, like, do you get a moment to reflect and say to yourself, holy shit, I did do that?
I do sometimes, because I feel like that is an important part of the journey always. It's like to remember, to look back and just go, wow, I've actually done all this. And I think sometimes it's, especially when I'm struggling, I think it's just, we can be so hard on ourselves and then we forget to reflect of where we've actually come from. And I think a lot of the times when I'm having a rough day is kind of, I look back and I'm like, well, you know what, that's okay. Because Javelina was hard. Like everything possibly could go wrong, but you kind of have to then look back and say, well, you know, you've come a long way and look at all the other things you've achieved and stuff. And then you just kind of learn just look at it very differently, in a bit of gratitude, just to be where you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, it's amazing, you know, to look back every now and again and say, yeah, I can, to your tattoo, I can do hard things, right? So how often? So I know we're in the middle of this 13, or excuse me, half marathon every day consecutively. Started sometime in August and is going to end at across the years. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
So how many times is it every day you're looking down at the tattoo, like as you're getting ready to go out there, or when you're in the middle of it?
Pretty much. Yeah. It depends. It like depends on like some days are great days and it's like you're ready for it, and then other days you're tired, you've had a bad night's sleep, and it's just like, oh, and it's weird. Like I thought naively I went into this thinking this would be easier than the marathon, but it's still the same. It's still a big distance. It's still like you're still going through all the same processes. You're still having to get up early in the morning, and especially because the challenge started, I'm not sure what I was thinking because I started on the 1st of August, which was summer in Arizona. So I've been running at like 100. Some days it was like 110. And so you're going out at like 4:30 in the morning, and by 5 o'clock it's already 90 degrees. So it's like you're not even like saving anything on like on the heat basically, because you're still running in the heat. So it's kind of, it just depends. Like some days I have to look at my wrist, look at my arm about 5 times just to remind myself to keep going. And other times then you feel great, and then you don't need your encouragement. You just kind of get out the door and you go. So it's just, and that's how running is. It's very much an up and a down, and it's like it's good days, bad days, and you just take it one step at a time.
So we've about this a little bit. So, but what inspired you to take on this challenge, and what do you hope to convey through the challenge?
For me, the challenge was just about, one, celebrating, because I'd been 21 years cancer free. So that was a big deal. But also to give back, because the thing is when you're kind of going through cancer, it can be a really lonely place. Like you don't understand, you feel like you're in it by yourself. You don't see anyone else going through it, and it can be a really scary, lonely place. And it's one of those things that a lot of people don't talk about. And I wanted to highlight those that are struggling, or those that are going either through the treatment, who unfortunately lost their lives to cancer, and just highlight those people and kind of in a way celebrate their lives, but also anyone else going through the same, that they don't feel alone, that they can kind of go, oh wow, there is someone else who's gone through what I'm going through. So it's kind of, that is where the project came from. It was just to kind of give back a little bit, and just raise some funds for cancer research and all that to add it to that. But I just wanted others not to feel alone as they were going through this. And it's a great place, because I've had so many people message me and saying it's just such a great place to remember their loved one. So yeah, it's all good.
So where does your bravery come from to talk about this? Because you mentioned how people don't talk about it, right? And as a person who's lost his father to cancer at a very young age, we didn't talk about it. It was like totally a taboo subject, and it wasn't anything that we discussed. So where does your bravery come to openly talk about this, to put this challenge out there, to post about it on a daily basis? Like, you're exposing yourself.
I am, and it's pretty scary to kind of come out there and just be so open about it. But I've learned over the years, because I've been an amputee for like obviously cancer-free, 21 years, and growing up, it was very much a thing of, we don't talk about our feelings, we don't talk about what we're going through, and cancer is kind of, you do it on your own terms, you basically suffer in silence. That was the motto, and it's just like, we just keep everything personal. And what I learned over the years, that it helps you to talk about these things, to be open, because the more you talk about it, and it's like when I started getting a little bit more brave to talk about it, then other people would go, oh wow, yeah, I'm going through the same. And it was the same when I did a post about depression, because that day I was having such a bad day. I just didn't know where to turn. And the post I posted was just totally raw. It was exactly how I was feeling at the minute. And it was scary putting it out there because I was like, oh, what are people going to think? And it's like, oh no, now I'm not looking strong anymore. Because it's like this whole thing, we always have to be strong all the time. And at that point, and I posted it and I was like, okay, am I just going to delete it now? But I had so many people reach out and just say, you know what, I'm going through exactly the same. I'm so glad you've posted that because this is how I feel. And I was chatting to people and just kind of walking through it and helping them too. And so I just wish that I think we all need to talk about it more because I just feel like you won't feel as alone and it just really helps.
Yeah, it's and thank you so much for sharing that post. I mean, that was such a like you said, it was a raw, vulnerable post. That was like that wasn't the real like REEL. That was the real like REAL.
Yeah. Yeah.
That stuff that like people don't like talk about. And so really appreciate you sharing that. And it made me realize even like because I go through those moments too that I'm not alone as well.
Yeah.
And people resonate with that and then they reach out, they want to check on you, and they also reach out with their own stories, so it builds like this camaraderie and community.
Exactly.
And it's truly incredible. For somebody who's been doing endurance sports for as long as you have and like has been doing these gauntlet of challenges, you have kind of like a first kind of like a first-hand view of like what endurance sports can do for you. So I kind of want to pose the question of how participating in endurance events could help somebody with the grieving process, maybe the recovery process, and even just like how endurance sports can help you open up.
I think for me, like endurance sport just has helped me to accept who I am, like from being like going from becoming an amputee. It's just given me confidence, and it kind of, there's a community, so you feel like you're part of this community, and I think that really, really helps. But I also feel like getting outside, getting fresh air, going for a run, mentally, it is just such a great way just to kind of feel better. Like if you're having a really rough day, you just go out, and even if it's just a mile, you go out for a mile, you come back, you've been out in the sunshine, you've been out in the fresh air. It gives you time to think. It just helps. I feel like you can solve the world's problems if you just go for a run.
Yeah, absolutely have to agree with that. I mean, just being able to go out for a run and just like, I guess just be present for a moment and like almost sometimes like people ask me like maybe and I'd like to hear your take on this. Like people ask me like what you're thinking about on a run. And sometimes I'm like nothing, and that's the best part.
Exactly. And I was actually just going to say that because I'm like, sometimes it's just about appreciating it, just being out there and like, and it sounds really silly, but like when I was doing the marathon challenge, like on tough days I'd go out, but then you kind of look and appreciate, so you kind of take things in, you kind of look around and just like, wow, things are actually really pretty out here and stuff. And I think we tend to get so focused on the journey and our training plans. So we need to do these miles, we need to do that, and we forget to appreciate where we're living and how beautiful the world can be, and just looking at the positive sides and just feeling lucky that we're alive and we're able to do this, because not everyone can.
Then Jason, before I let you go ahead, I just wanted to take a comment from Nico Frico 182. I love that name, by the way.
That's the best name.
Endurance sports has shown me that I'm capable of so much more. I have to agree with that wholeheartedly. I have to agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is we do. We're trying to process things when we're trying to unearth something, right, in our emotions. I have to agree when it comes to that stuff. So I know when I go out running, whether it's 30 minutes or 12 hours, I have every problem the world has. Yet when I get back to home base, I don't remember any of my solutions. Do you remember your solutions to the world's problems when you're out there running?
I wish. No, I don't, but I do feel better.
Every talk to you is like, I don't remember like how I solved the problem, but it got solved. how has nobody come up with a device that somehow take our thoughts and put them into like an app as we're running?
There we go. That's a great business plan. There we go. We need to start doing that.
I mean, we've done multi-day events, all of us have, and we've all had moments of, man, this is what we need in the world today, and this will solve this problem. We forget about it, right? And then it's like, well, that didn't work very well for us. But the question I want...
Yeah, we should all carry, like, I mean, we carry our phones and stuff, but we should all just carry little recorders and record, like, talk to ourselves. Because I think Dean Canassis does that. That's how he wrote his book. He'd go out for a run and then he'd actually record himself. So he would just talk to himself on this recorder. And I'm like, oh, we could do that. That's how we solve the world's problems. We'll just chat to ourselves.
You know what my recording would sound like? It would sound like a freight train because I'm a mouth. It'd be the worst book in history.
But that's okay. You'll just give it to someone else to like listen to and stuff. It's their problem.
It would get turned into white noise because people could set their sleep alarms to it.
Yeah.
It just was super deep, heavy breathing as I run.
Yeah, mine would definitely be the like, is she okay? Because she's breathing really loud.
Oh my God, I was just going to say that. My recording would be 25 minutes of white noise, huffing and breathing, and like...
Yeah, exactly. I'm like the worst. If you run with me, you'll hear. I just, like, people were like, are you okay? I'm like, and we're like, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm fine. This is just how I breathe. I can't breathe quietly. I'm like, no.
Every now and again, you would hear a snot rocket. I apologize to those that run with me. I do that, so you get snot rockets and curse words all along the way.
Oh, good. I'm not the only one that does curse words. Oh. That makes me feel better. It's kind of one of those things when I run with someone for the first time, like I'm like, I'll just behave myself the first time, and then like as soon as they start cursing, I'm like, yes, I found my people. Let's go.
Describe yourself as an introvert or an extrovert?
More of an introvert, actually. So
I'm the opposite. I'm an introvert. So I would be that person that running with you, and I'd be like, oh, I can't believe we're gonna just fucking go run 6 miles.
Brilliant. Yeah, see, I'm more that person that will wait and see how you react, and then I'll kind of get in there.
That you're just going to forget the conversation anyway, since you just told me about it, so why not start it right out of the gate, being full on?
True. That's a good point.
Speaking of disagreements, I want to put a old question on the record and a new question on the record about...
Oh, dear.
Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
I knew you were going to bring that one. It's got to be pineapple, definitely. I haven't changed my mind. Sorry.
Well, I have good New York pizza in Phoenix, so that I understand that. You got to doll that.
So I got pineapple on burgers, yay or nay?
Pineapples on burgers? I would go no.
I think I'm no on
yeah.
that one.
Yeah. I've had it on a chicken burger, which is interesting.
Well,
that's not bad. That's actually not bad. That kind of can, but I think I prefer it without.
You need the like the hydration of the pineapple, the juice to chicken. That's why the combination there.
Yeah.
Works.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that, Nico. Love pineapple and pizza. You're totally Team Ohm and Team Jacky.
Nico is officially blocked and reported. Thanks, Nico.
I am bringing you the biggest slice of pizza pineapple when we're across the years.
We'll have to go to Venezia's. That's like the closest to New York City pizza out in Phoenix that I've had. That's the closest one.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Oh man, that would be so good after Across the Years or during Across the Years.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, can we have it like 3 or 4 times maybe? Who cares?
You guys will watch me take my like little tag off. Where are you going? Oh, I'll get back on course. I'm gonna go get like a bunch of pizza.
Priorities, right? I remember I had an In-N-Out burger at the Cross the Years, and I swear it's the best thing I've ever eaten. Like, I was just like, my husband bought me one, and he was like, you've just finished that in like 5 seconds. I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm like shoving it somewhere.
At Cocodona, when I got to Prescott, prior to that, I told my crew chief, I'm like, I just want an Impossible Whopper and some ice cream. Like, if you can have it, the world will be great. And when I got there, I had 2 Impossible Whoppers and a 6-pack of Klondike ice cream bars. Oh, it was the greatest sliced bread. Now I have a question of what would you do for a Klondike bar? I'd run 250 miles, clearly.
There we go. It's funny, the things we kind of crave when we're out there running. Sometimes just like a can of Coke. Like, I don't drink Coke at all. Like, I hardly ever, like, I'll have it now and then. But like, when I'm doing these races, that's all I can think about is like, I can't wait for that ice cold Coke. It's like, it just for some reason tastes the best. It's like, oh my goodness.
There really is nothing like it. That, or the other one I enjoy is a pineapple Doritos. That for me is also another real.
Oh my God, this is making me so like thirsty for like a cold like Coke, or like, I'm thinking about getting up to the aid station at Broken Arrow, and they had like Parmesan parm potatoes and like cold, and it was like the best feeling ever.
Yeah, I remember at Trans Rockies, the best thing ever was they had pineapple, not pineapple, I'm obsessed with pineapple. They had watermelon slices, but what they did was they put salt over it.
Yes.
And it was like the best thing ever. I was like, this is new. What is this? And they were like looking at me really strangely. And I'm like, where'd she come from? Has she not been let outside before or something? This is like normal. I'm like, no, it's not.
So for all the Mars, Hershey, Reese's, Smuckers, Nestle companies that are watching this, we want you guys to be advertisers, because we are eating all of this food constantly.
Exactly. It's such a good, healthy diet. We need all the crap.
I wanted to ask you about, it was about probably a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, you posted a picture of your daughter looking at you while you were running for like one of the very first times.
Oh, yeah.
It was unbelievable. Like I can still see it in my head. I just loved it so much. And a lot of our audience is women and mothers. And so the question, how do you balance your training with being a mom, you know, doing 104 days or running a half marathon every day for what amounts to 4 months is a lot. It takes a lot of time. So how do you?
It's really tricky, and I don't think I have an answer for it really. I kind of make it work. So for me, it's I make sure that my runs are kind of scheduled when the kids aren't here. So like if they've gone to school and stuff, that's why a lot of the runs when I was doing the marathon thing was in the heat, because they'd gone to school. But then also making priority quality time. So it's like when I'm with them, I'm with them. So it's like, just even if it's not as much time as it would be if I wasn't running, but it's just making sure those moments count and just really spending good quality time with them. And I think as mums, it's so hard because we're always feeling guilty about it all the time. We always think we're doing a really crappy job. And it's just like, all you need is a hug from your child saying, you know, I love you. And that's all they want, is they just want a little bit of time with you, and it's fine. We're not, because I always worry. I'm like, oh, am I doing damage to my children? Like when they get older, they're going to think, oh yeah, my mom just ran all the time. But I know I give them good quality time. And when I was doing the marathon thing, they would keep asking me, it's like, have you done it, Mom? Oh, how far are you? And so from their point of view, they also wanted to see me achieve it, which is great. It's like, it's so amazing that that's what and all their school friends were talking about it. So for them, I suddenly stepped up a level. I was the cool mom now, not the embarrassing mom. So that's a nice points.
This is my mom who runs 104 marathons in 104 days.
Yeah. Even my 13-year-old, it was so funny. It was like, yeah, this is my mom. Yeah.
That is so awesome. We have a comment from Anna Loves Roy that says, Jacky, you are a true inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
Like so we talked about earlier about like looking back on all the things that you've accomplished. What happens when you hear that kind of stuff from the public, from people you don't know?
It makes makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. Like it just really is super encouraging, and because I'm weird that way, because it's weird. Like when I lost my leg in cancer, it's kind of, you always look for meaning. Like, it's like, why did this happen to me? There has to be like a bigger picture to this. It's like, but for me, it was like, how can I make a difference? And sharing my journey, I'm hoping to make a difference. So it's kind of, when I get comments like that, I'm like, okay, I think I'm making a difference, and it's all really positive. So it's great.
How does that, like, because you've shared some of the not so nice comments that people have made. Like, Om can tell you, like, we read those comments and we're texting each other, like, pardon me, I'm the curse. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, I don't get it.
I know. It's so weird. And the frustrating thing is, whenever I get like a comment, like if I get a comment in person, like something like silly, I always, like, it takes me a few hours to think of a good reaction to it. And I'm like, when the person's left her, I'm like, dang it, I could have said this, this, and this, and this. And I don't think about it. I'm like, ah. But I've learned over the years to get a really thick skin. I think it's part of the problem. A lot of it is because stories like mine weren't always shared. Like, people kept it to themselves. And so I am open, so that makes me more vulnerable to comments, weird comments and things like that. But I think it's also part of the education of just being open and saying, well, I got that comment, this is what I did, and why that's not okay. Because a lot of the comments I get, sometimes other people think about the same thing, and that's okay. But I think it's a lot of that people just don't know. But we also live in a society now where people feel the need that they can say whatever they want to, which is also, there isn't any of that tact anymore, so, which is a bit weird. So it's an interesting world to kind of navigate. So yeah, I've definitely got a thicker skin, and you just kind of take each one as it comes and kind of deal with it in a nice, polite way, trying to educate and not take it too personal, because a lot of it comes from people just not knowing.
Yeah. The unfair advantage comment that you just gotta have a,
that was funny. It was interesting, because unfortunately the person that actually did it, like, he genuinely thought I had an advantage. Like, he just genuinely thought the carbon was giving me an advantage. And I'm like, I couldn't help thinking. And at the time, I was feeling too tired and I was too frustrated. So I kind of kept a little bit quiet. I gave him a short answer and stuff. But the more I thought about it, the more it irritated me, because I'm like, well, I've been sitting on a rock crying because I'm having such a crappy race. And I'm like, you come and tell me I have an advantage. How on earth? And there was like part of me, I was like, I could have got really nasty. Like, I was like, yeah, well, you become an amputee and see how you think this is an advantage and stuff like that. But I didn't. Like, I just, you kind of, in situations like that, you kind of learn to, I want to say bite my tongue, but I kind of calm down a little, like at first, because it's so easy to react in a way and just be really angry about it. And I've learned just to kind of take a step back and just kind of think it through and things. And it's just, take it from where it's coming. Sometimes it's just not understanding how these systems work and stuff like that. But yeah, it's super frustrating, because I'm like, yeah, if you knew what was going on in my leg, you would not, like, seriously, how can this be an advantage? I'm running at the back of the pack. Come on. I'd be winning the race.
I wonder if, like, being a mom and having to be patient with kids as you're them and teaching them, right? Like, if that helped you when it comes to dealing with these kinds of comments, where you've learned patience and take the education form of it.
I think it definitely helps. And I think, it's weird. Like, the weirdest comments I normally get from grown-ups, like, it's so weird. Like, the kids will do like simple things like, oh yeah, will it grow back? But it's more comes from a point of innocence. Like, that's how they see it, and they don't understand it and stuff. But grown-ups would like just random things, and it's just like these weird comments, and you think, really? How old are you?
We have the audience. Deanna loves Roy is asking if you've done any marathons in Florida or if you intend on doing any marathons in Florida.
I have actually not done a marathon. I've done some training runs out in Florida before, but I have not actually done a marathon. I should actually look into that. So yeah, watch the space. Maybe I'll organize one. I can come out there because I haven't been to Florida for a while. It would be nice to be out there again.
One of the things that we didn't really make a touch point of in the last chat that I really wanted to touch on was your sense of humor. I wanted to ask, because you post, like, people see it in your post, like a zombie ate it with that t-shirt, and like my favorite one, how you like left one of the prosthetic legs like next to the truck. And,
oh yeah.
And like that, I just want to ask, like, how humor plays into like endurance sports, and like how humor plays into like who you are, and like why it's important to have a sense of humor in what you do.
I think there's so much things that are in the world going on, and I think humor helps. It just helps. It lightens things up. It makes you feel happy inside, even if you're not at that time feeling super happy. It's like if you make a joke about something and you laugh, it changes your mood, and I just think there's too many things serious in this world. And it's like, I used to be worried. Like I used to I need to be an endurance athlete. It all needs to be really, really serious. And I'm like, why not? Why can't we have fun with it? It's like, it is about fun. And it's like, that's why I went into running community and stuff. I want to have fun. And I'm like, having the sense of humor kind of brings out my personality a little bit, and it makes everyone else laugh. And I always think, like, not all amputees will share my opinion about it, but I just feel like, when I kind of started making these jokes, I feel like it just makes the whole situation a little bit more lighthearted. I mean, it is serious and what happened and blah, blah, blah and all that, but I just feel like, why can't we joke about it now? Because this is my life, this is normal, and kind of move on, but let's have a little bit of fun with it.
I'm with you. Like, let's have fun with it. The other day, who's been on our show, and I don't know if you know her, but she had a picture in one of her stories of a log across a trail.
Yeah.
And I was like, I messaged her, I'm like, that is the perfect poop log. And right? Like, it was the perfect poop log. And so she laughed about it, you know, we had a good conversation about it. But like, that's the whole point of this stuff. Like,
yeah,
don't take yourself so seriously that you're not enjoying yourself. Like, let's have
the thing. Life is too short, and it's like, tomorrow is never guaranteed. So it's like, if we're going to be all serious about everything, it's like, tomorrow something bad can happen, hopefully not, but and then, yeah, you've not smiled, you've not laughed, you've not had fun in life, and it's like, what is the point then? What is the point of life? Why take it so serious? I'm never going to win like the top prizes anyway in running, so I might as well just have a bit of fun with it.
Nailed it. Let's have fun with this stuff. It hurts. Painful moments, things happen, you know, tears flow. You might as well have fun with it when you can, because otherwise it's a miserable.
But that's the thing, and like, even like ultra running, I mean, we all know it's hard. It is hard, and we all have our break points. I remember across the years, like, my tread had fallen off, and I remember I actually literally sat down on the road because I couldn't go anywhere, and I just sat there. I felt defeated. And I had a few runners come past me. They're like, "Are you okay?" So I'm like, "I just need a moment." They're like, "Okay, yeah, you can have your moment. That's fine." And it's kind of, that's what the community is about. It's like, we have our moments, but we have fun with it. We have crappy times too, and that's okay. But we kind of pick each other up, and then we laugh again. Like, a few hours later, we'll be laughing about it, and then think, "Oh yeah, I had my pity party a few hours ago, but I'm okay now. Let's go."
I mean, I'll tell you, when you and Om are running for 6 days and I'm done after about 12 hours because it's 50 miles, I'm sitting there watching, eating pizza, laughing at you guys. We'll have a blast.
Yeah, we will. I'm going to tie a rope around Om, and he's going to like pull me along, and I'll make a train sound. Can I? Yeah, we got choo-choo.
All aboard.
Maybe it will catch on, and we'll have a few people tag along. I'm just
Especially as you get into those later later hours and people are starting to lose their minds a little bit.
Yeah,
There's no doubt.
exactly. People are going to start thinking they're hallucinating this train coming along.
One of the things I will make sure, like I did at my 200-mile race, is I'll have plenty of dad jokes. Plenty.
Oh no! Oh no! Save us! No, I'm just kidding.
After across the years, what does 2024 look like for you? And this will be the last question before we get into the rapid fire.
I haven't actually, for once, I haven't planned 2024 yet. I've kind of taken it easy. The only one I've got on the list is Comrades in South Africa. So I'm going out there to run it because it's been a race we always used to watch on TV. So it's iconic. I used to watch people thinking they were absolutely insane running this race because I wasn't a runner then. So it will be something special to kind of be back in South Africa and just kind of crossing the finish line there. So that will be cool.
Are you a rugby fan?
Yeah, of course I am.
Did they just...
Yeah, we won!
Yeah.
Woohoo! I know. And thank goodness I was on the trail at Javelina when we were playing, because the match the weekend before, I swear I was going to have a heart attack because I just can't take. I take sports so serious. I'm like, it's ridiculous. I'm one of those people that will sit next to you and you'll go deaf because I'm screaming at the TV so loud. Like my children are always like, Mom, the neighbors are going to hear. Can you keep quiet? The neighbors are going to hear. So it's so funny. But yeah, we won by 1 point. Yeah. 1 point. Like, do you watch rugby?
I don't watch rugby, but I'm a huge sports fan. And I follow that stuff, and I know that they're the first 4-time world champion in rugby. Pretty impressive. Yeah.
You've got to watch rugby. It's so much better than much better than American football. It's the real boys play rugby because there's a lot of blood, beating up.
I know it's Australia, but I'm totally the whole haka thing. Like that stuff fired up when you see that stuff. The All Blacks, like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a good sport. And what I love about it, even if they're like, it's funny at the end of the game, they kind of all shake hands, give each other a hug. It's still very much of a gentleman's sport, even though they're beating each other up during the game and they're like all covered in blood. But hey, let's give each other a hug afterwards. It's competition.
Like in this country in Canada, like when they're done beating the living snot out of each other in hockey, especially in the playoffs, that handshake when the series is over is super memorable and pretty cool through that process.
I feel like all sports should be like that. It should be a little bit like, you know what, we're enemies while we're playing, but afterwards, let's go and have a beer. Let's like, you know what, it's pretty cool. You guys beat us, that's fine. Next time we'll beat you. That's how sports should be.
You cashed your check just as well as I'm going to go cash my check. Let's go have fun.
Exactly.
All right. For our food discussion roundtable here. Did she freeze?
Hello?
Oh, there you go.
Sorry.
Okay.
Wait, both freeze? Because I was just watching you both just like stare into space.
I'm asking if you're ready for our food roundtable discussion.
Oh, yes. Okay, let's go.
Oreos. Are you the original Oreo fan or are you a double stuff fan?
Original.
Yes. Licorice. Are you a fan of yay or nay?
Sorry, you broke away there.
Licorice. Are you a fan of licorice?
Yes. Definitely.
Black or red?
Black.
So you're a Sambuca fan? You like that flavor, anise?
I do.
Nice.
I used to. I've got so many stories about Sambuca when I was younger.
Yeah.
They're not pretty.
We'll talk about that across the years.
Yeah.
Bring your little.
Oh.
Halloween just ended, so candy corn, yay or nay?
Candy corn? No.
Yeah, it's terrible, right? It's earwax covered.
It's so gross. It's so gross.
You redeemed yourself from that pineapple answer. Peanut butter or nut butter if you have an allergy. Do you go creamy or crunchy?
Creamy. Definitely creamy. I don't like the crunchy.
All right, now you're back in
sorry.
back in time.
Can you give me the cheat notes later so I know how to answer this next time?
When you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, do you put the peanut butter and the jelly on one slice of bread and then put the other one on top? Or do you put jelly on one side, peanut butter on the other, and then smack?
You have to put it on one slice.